She didn't know his name. She didn't know his past. She didn't even know if he was a good man. All she knew was that a huge Hells Angel biker stood at the gas station counter, hands shaking, wallet empty, and in her pocket was her last $8. She gave it to him anyway. Before the story begins, subscribe to our channel Voices of Darkness, and like and share this video with your friends because stories like this deserve to be heard. Now, sit back, because what happened the next day, when Ozzy Osbourne showed up with 100 bikers, shocked an entire town. The girl with $8, her name was Naomi Carter. She was 24 years old, black, tired, proud in the quiet way people become when life keeps knocking them down, but they refuse to stay on the floor. Naomi worked 2 jobs in a small American town. Most people only passed through. Morning shift at a diner, night shift at a grocery store. That night, rain fell hard, the kind that soaks your shoes, chills your bones, and makes the world feel heavier than usual. Naomi stood at Miller's Gas and Go, staring at the pump numbers climbing too slowly. Her car was old, her phone was cracked, her bank balance was 0. She reached into her pocket and counted again. $8, that was it. No backup, no credit card, no just in case. She whispered to herself, just enough to get home. That's when the ground seemed to vibrate. Not thunder engines. The man everyone feared, the biker, rolled in like a shadow made of steel. A massive black motorcycle, chrome gleaming under the station lights, leather jacket, grey beard soaked with rain. The Hells Angel patch sat heavy on his back. Conversations inside the gas station died instantly. People froze, eyes dropped. Fear filled the room without a single word being spoken. The biker removed his helmet slowly. His face was rough, scarred, eyes tired, not angry. He walked inside. Naomi watched from the pump as people backed away from the counter. The cashier's hands trembled. The biker placed a candy bar and a small bottle of water on the counter. Then came the moment. He reached into his jacket, then his jeans, then paused. Silence. "I'm short," he said quietly. His voice wasn't threatening. It was embarrassed. The cashier swallowed. "That'll be $8.12. The biker exhaled slowly. He looked down at the counter. "I've got 8. A pause. "I'll put the water back." Something about that moment broke Naomi's heart. Not fear, not danger. Dignity. A decision that cost everything. Naomi didn't think. She didn't calculate. She just walked in. Her shoes squeaked on the wet floor as every head turned. A young black woman stepping toward a Hells Angel was not something anyone expected. She placed her crumpled bills on the counter. "I've got it," she said softly. The biker turned. Up close, he was enormous, but his eyes softened. "You don't have to do that, miss," he said. She shrugged. "It's just money." That was a lie. It was rent money, gas money, food money, but she smiled anyway. The cashier rang it up quickly, eager for the moment to pass. The biker stared at Naomi like he was trying to memorize her face. "Why?" he asked. Naomi met his eyes. "Because one day I might be the one standing there." The biker nodded slowly. He took the bag, then surprised everyone by extending his hand. "Name's Reaper," he said. She shook it. "Naomi." His grip was gentle. Before leaving, he leaned in slightly and said words she would never forget. "Kindness like that doesn't disappear. It circles back." Then he was gone. Engines roared. Rain swallowed the sound, and Naomi stood there, broke. The longest night, Naomi drove home on fumes. Her stomach hurt from hunger. Her mind replayed the scene again and again. "Was I stupid?" she whispered. Her apartment was cold. She made instant noodles with borrowed electricity and sat on the floor. Her phone buzzed. A message from her landlord reminding her rent was overdue. She laughed bitterly. "All because I gave $8 to a biker," she muttered. Sleep didn't come easy. Outside, thunder rolled. The town wakes up the next morning. The town woke to something strange. Motorcycles, not one, not 10 dozens. They lined the streets, parked near the diner, engines idling like controlled thunder. People whispered, "Are we in trouble? What's going on? Is this a gang thing?" Naomi had no idea. She tied her apron and walked into the diner, exhausted. The bell over the door rang. Silence fell. A man stepped inside, older, familiar face, round glasses. The entire diner gasped. Someone dropped a plate. It was Ozzy Osbourne. Behind him, 100 bikers filled the street. "The devil walks in." Naomi froze. Her mind refused to connect reality. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness himself, stood in her workplace. He smiled gently. I'm looking for a young woman named Naomi." Her knees nearly gave out. I'm Naomi," she said. Ozzy walked closer. "You helped a friend of mine last night." The diner held its breath. Ozzy turned and gestured toward the door. Reaper stepped inside. He removed his helmet and nodded respectfully. "She's the one," Reaper said. Ozzy looked back at Naomi. "You gave him your last $8. Naomi swallowed. "Yes, sir." Ozzy's eyes shined. "You know," he said softly, "I've seen crowds of thousands scream my name, but I've rarely seen something as loud as quiet kindness." Why the bikers came, Ozzy pulled out a chair and sat. Reaper stood behind him like a wall. Ozzy spoke so everyone could hear. "This man saved my life once," Ozzy said. "Not with fists, not with weapons, with loyalty." He looked at Reaper. "When he told me about you, I knew we had to come." Naomi's hands shook. Ozzy reached into his jacket and placed an envelope on the table. Inside was $10,000. Gasps filled the diner. "For your rent, your food, your future," Naomi cried. But Ozzy wasn't done. He snapped his fingers. The bikers outside rolled forward. One by one, they placed gifts on the diner counter. Groceries, gift cards, a brand new phone, car repair vouchers. Ozzy leaned in. "And this diner," he looked at the owner. "We're paying off your debts." The owner collapsed into tears. A promise kept. Ozzy stood. Reaper stepped forward and placed a small leather patch on the table. "Not a gang symbol, a guardian patch. Where we ride," Reaper said, "you'll never walk alone." Naomi could barely speak. Ozzy smiled one last time. "Darkness isn't evil," he said. "It's just waiting for light." Then they left. Engines roared. The town stood frozen. What happened after the story went viral? News trucks came. People lined up just to meet Naomi. But she stayed the same. She kept working, kept smiling, kept helping. She started a small charity called $8, helping strangers with small acts that change lives. Reaper still visits sometimes. He never lets her pay for coffee. If this story touched your heart, if you love Ozzy Osbourne, if you believe kindness still matters, subscribe to Voices of Darkness right now. Like this video, share it with your friends. Help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Now prove your love. You know exactly what to do, because sometimes $8 is all it takes to change the world.